Why is your sound not coming now?
Because there's no sound. Section 1, An Era of Exploration. August 1492, Christopher Columbus set sail with 3 ships and a crew of about 90 sailors. Not seeking land for about a month, on October 7th, a flock of birds led him to land at 2 a.m. on October 12th. There he met Indians and traded goods with them. This was known as the Columbian Exchange. Spanish claimed the Taino lands, and the Indians were forced to work in farmlands or Spanish households. The Spanish had no idea how wide the Pacific Ocean was until the sea captain Magellan had 5 ships and about 250 crew members. They left Spain in 1519, and 15 months later the crew ran out of food. Magellan was killed in a battle with the Philistines. In 1522, only 1 ship and 8 crew sailors returned to Spain. No one ever sailed Magellan's route again. Section 2, Spain builds an empire. In 1500, Spanish conquistador Bernal Castillo traveled to Americas. He said, "We came to serve God and the king, also to get rich." In their search for glory and gold, they made Spanish one of the richest nations in Europe. When Spanish went to war with Aztecs and Incas, they sent sick people in advance of them, so the Indians would get sick and could be unable to fight. Spanish took part in having slaves. They were harsh rulers. They brought laborers from Africa. They were especially valued in sugar plantations. More than 500,000 Africans were enslaved.
Section 3, Colonizing North America. In the 1500s, Europeans looked for a waterway through or around North America, which is also called a Northwest Passage. The French explored the St. Lawrence River. Henry Hudson traveled for the Dutch. He explored the Hudson River, which is named after him. Martin Luther began the Protestant Reformation in 1517. This created many different Protestant churches. Because of all the division, rivalries were started. Coureurs de Bois were French colonists who lived in the woods and traded with Native Americans. The French colonists also imported thousands of African slaves to work on plantations. The Dutch had an alliance with the Iroquois, while the French had an alliance with the Hurons. The Dutch were also fur traders and competed much with the French. European colonization greatly affected Native Americans. Diseases killed many, they were forced out of their homes, and they were pitted against.
Section 4, Building the Jamestown Colony. England watched with envy as Spain gained riches from its American colonies. Their first attempt for colonization was on Roanoke, an island off the coast of present-day North Carolina. After the failure of Roanoke, nearly 20 years passed before they tried again. In 1607, a group of 105 colonists arrived in Virginia. They named their tiny outpost on the James River Jamestown. A main struggle for them was starvation. Not enough people wanted to work. They only wanted to look for gold. Finally, by 1612, they started to improve their colony by growing tobacco. But they did not have enough workers, nor were there enough women. So they sent for more women, and Africans were sent for slaves.
Section 5, Seeking Religious Freedom. Many rulers during the 1500s decided to have a chosen religion or an established church. Those who didn't follow this religion suffered mistreatment or punishment because of their beliefs. This is also known as persecution. The Pilgrims were one group that suffered persecution. They were also known as separatists. In September 1620, the Pilgrims left England on the Mayflower. They reached Cape Cod in present-day Massachusetts in November 1620. Before going ashore, the Pilgrims signed the Mayflower Compact to agree to make and abide by laws. The Pilgrims set an example for others to follow in the future, or a precedent. The Pilgrims got help from Native Americans. Squanto was a certain Indian who brought them seeds and taught them how to plant. In the fall, they had a very good harvest. Because they believed God had given them this harvest, they had the first Thanksgiving.